This award was first issued to Sergeant E.A. Montgomery. This is medal number SS1 from an original 1908 to 39 Indian General Service Medal. It is my honor to announce the presentation of the Waziristan 1919 to 1921 British India General Service Medal Border Regiment by Mr. Lakshmi to Abdurehman Eid Tahir.
Mr. Abdurehman Eid Tahir is the CEO of Ethiopian Investment Holding, the official sovereign wealth fund of Ethiopia. He was a former Minister of Urban Development in the Somalia region of Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Investment Holding is also tasked to improve the running of the portfolio of state-owned enterprises, whose assets are worth some 2 trillion birr, which is 38 billion US dollar, with an annual revenue of $6.2 billion. The assets are 34% of Ethiopian economy measured by gross domestic product GDP. Before taking the management position at the Ethiopian Investment Holdings, Abdurehman was a key member of the reform team in the Somalia region of Ethiopia. Distinguished guest, our next guest is an honorable former Minister of Urban Development in the Somalia region of Ethiopia and the CEO of Ethiopia Investment Holdings, the Honorable Abdurehman Eid Tahir. From a very young age, he has been instrumental in increasing the economic and infrastructural strength of this land, and we look forward to learning from his experience. Sir, it's an honor to have you on stage. Welcome to Good Talks.
Thank you very much. A pleasure.
So I would like to start from your early ages of your life. How was your life growing up in Jijiga as a son of a president? What was the reason you wanted to take up a public service?
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee. I think to give a bit of context, Ethiopia is a federal state. We have regions which are sovereign, which administer themselves. So that's the one you are mentioning, the region I used to work from and where I am from is Somali regional state of Ethiopia. So that's where I grew up. The time you mentioned was a time when the country was in transition, where we were transiting from a socialist military regime, which was the Derg. So it was a time when the current federal system was also set up. So it was a turbulent time where I had the opportunity to closely observe the situation changing and how the society viewed in terms of that system, which was new at the time, that we were moving into. So I was able to understand how the system is, what the people at the time, the situation they were in, and the kind of work it would require to change the socio-economic situation of our people. And I would say it educated me and made me ready for the post. It was not at that time that I decided to be a public servant, of course, but later on, when the opportunity came, I was able to use the education and experience I have from being close to the situation at the time.
You have been a politician. Currently, you are in a different public service. I don't want to call you as a money manager, but I would like to say somebody who is handling the country's wealth. So you have a moral responsibility. That wealth is well delivered to your country, every country person. As a politician, what are your key priorities in the past and strategies in the past, and what changed now for you?
I think I was very much happy to admit that starting from yesterday, the number of times people were mentioning impact investment. When people hear the Global Wealth Conference, it would look like people simply discussing about increasing their wealth, but here we had the opportunity to hear people who were investing to change in people's life. So that is exactly whether you are in politics or whether we are trying to improve the economic situation of the people, that's what the target is. You know, we want to change the life and the livelihood of our people. We want to give them better opportunities for their future. So that's definitely moving from, you know, a situation where more than close to 70% of the people were in very much abject poverty, and things changed. Things started to change. So we were able to, between the years 2000 and 2015, you know, in Ethiopia, poverty was almost halved. So, and it's not, I was hearing the morning the professor in terms of the understanding and the perception that people had at higher level of how poverty is and how people perceive poverty, which is true, which is very much different. If you go to the people in a rural village, if you ask him what he thinks of being a better economic situation, it will be very much different than what we think. So, you know, being close to that and understanding was one of the things we wanted to change, and we were able also to see change, the situation changing for the people. Not yet at the level we would like to be today, but things have improved.
Who is your inspiration?
I think many people were my inspiration, but I have to admit he was my father. You know, being close to him in terms of while I was a child in school, how he encouraged me in the education I was, and also being close to him while he was also in public office, and seeing what he was doing and how he was facing the situation, which was very much difficult at the time. You know, you would imagine the situation is even now difficult, being from a country where majority of the people are very poor. But at that time, it was very much worse than the situation it is today. So, seeing how he was able to handle the situation at that time was inspirational.
Your father is a successful leader, right?
Yeah, he was.
So, have you been under pressure that you have to be like him, or you have to prove better than him?
Well, of course, people would relate, whether it is for good or bad, people would relate you to him. But even though we are a bit different in terms of how we face the situations, but of course that pressure is going to be there.
What would you do different from any other people in your country as a leader now? Given an opportunity and you have all the control and power, what do you think? Not as a politician, not as an, I'm asking you as an individual perspective. So I want individual perspective. Hey, there are things which I can't do differently. For my country, for my people, what would you do that?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer, being the CEO of the sovereign wealth fund of the country. And but I think, you know, things are we are already doing things differently. Nothing is moving as it was some 2-3 years back. You know, situation is continuously changing. In the morning you heard there was a war that happened in Ethiopia for 2 years between 2021 and until November 2022. So that itself has changed the situation we were in. So nothing is going to be done as it has been done. Things are moving differently. We have to include and embrace a very much different approach. You know, we are very much diverse. You were asking, we're a very much diverse country. You have more than 80 ethnic groups in Ethiopia. We speak more than 80 languages in the country. So managing that itself is from day to day would require you to change approach of how you are going to manage that diversity, how you are going to make the opportunities of investment equally for the different groups in the country.
You come from a successful family, you are a successful politician, you are holding a successful office now, your life journey, you have seen everything. what is making you to run every day morning still?
I think the people, if you know, as I said, I am from a very much diverse country, and especially the community I am from is a pastoralist community. So pastoralists, in a sense, they are nomadic livestock herders, and that community in particular is very much different than, you know, traditionally we know the different economic models. They are mostly based on sedentary farming communities, of how you would change that and how you would achieve structural transformation. Nobody in the world knows what model would work for a pastoralist community who's nomadic, who's moving from place to place, who's living in very much harsh climatic situation, whose life is very much affected by climate change. So being from that community and knowing them firsthand, the situation they are facing, is definitely what is inspiring me and moving me.
If there's one cause that you want to dedicate your life, one cause out of everything, what would be that one cause you would dedicate your life for?
It would definitely be changing the life of the pastoralist community in East Africa. That would be what I have been dedicating my life even before, and that's because that has not changed, and that's going to be the thing I would dedicate very much.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us, welcoming us into this world. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you an honorable Minister, Abdurehman. Thank you. Please give him an applaud from your side. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, sir.
Thank you very much.